I find it to be the miracle of our day that so many of us gather here today to worship the same God, sitting next to one another, and yet we know each other well enough to know that we do not agree on everything. Right? We all root for different things. I love one of my favorite things about this congregation is the diversity of NFL fandom here. I think it's so much fun that we have that differences among us. Now, in the Corinthians text today, you might have read that Corinthians text and rolled your eyes and thought, oh, the pastor picked this text for today for a reason. You can be honest if you felt that way. But Eddie can tell you, I did not do that. That was the text for the day, and the lectionary was planned 50 years ago. It's a 3-year cycle. We do all the same readings. It was planned. But I think it's an important text because Paul is writing to the church in Corinth, and he's saying you all should agree on everything so that you are not divided. To which I say, no, you don't have to agree on everything to be united. You can still respectfully disagree on certain things and still be united. Paul goes on to write, what had happened in the church at that time is one person believed one thing and another person believed another thing, and they were arguing, and so they had like little denominations within their church. They had certain groups, they had certain parties. We belong to the Paul party. We belong to the Apollos party. Or we belong to the Jesus party. And Paul heard about this and was like, what are you all doing? And I love it. He says, was Paul crucified for you? Were you baptized in Paul's name? Get over yourselves. And remember that you are united by one thing that is greater than all others. And that is your faith in Christ. And that is why we are here today. We are united by one thing that is greater than all others. Greater than who we root for, greater than who we vote for, greater than all the other disagreements we have. And that is we are united in our faith in Christ. But not just our faith in Christ, because I feel like that's too easy of an answer. I think there's a lot of places where people are united by faith, yet they don't share the same type of we'll call it political and other types of diversity that we have here. I think as Lutherans, we are united by more than just our faith, but the needs that we have that our faith speaks to. The needs that each of us go through and realize that, oh wow, my faith really speaks to that. And the first thing that Taylor talked about, what Taylor talked about today, thank you Taylor, was fear. How I think each and every person at certain times in their lives deal with fear of the unknown. I think yesterday, all the gatherings of people who wanted their voices to be heard in peaceful ways, they were doing so because they're afraid that their rights may be taken away from them. And so their fear has caused them to do that. And I know that there are other times when other things that we are and can be afraid of. I look at the economy, and I wonder, what is the economy going to be like in 17 years when my daughter goes to school? How much is college going to cost? What's the economy going to be like when I'm ready to retire, if I ever get to that point? I look at the environment, and I wonder, is the environment going to be okay in 50 years? Are we, I know that science tells us one thing and other people say other things, and I don't, I'm not a scientist, I'm a theologian, but I still fear all those things. There's certain things that I do fear. And I think, Taylor, thank you so much for making that point this morning. Taylor, we should get together sometimes. Why should I fear? I have the Lord. The Lord was my light and my life was my stronghold. What shall I fear when I have the Lord? And so, our faith is bigger than everything we fear, because we know that in the end of all things, our lives, our world, whatever, there will be God. In the end, will be God. Plain and simple. And so our faith is bigger than the things we fear. And as we look at our world today, and how I started my sermon, there are some people who are excited and some who are disappointed. And it could be about your football team, that you're excited that your football team is still playing, and you might be disappointed that your football team isn't playing. That game last week was awesome. It was so much fun to watch. And I know there's Kansas City Chiefs fans here too. And that game was awesome too. And I know that it came down to a penalty. That's the only time in NFL history one team scored 2 touchdowns and the other team scored 0, and the team that scored 0 touchdowns won. It was a fun game to watch. They were both fun games to watch. Half of you were excited and half of you were disappointed. And every 4 years, half of our country is excited and half of us aren't excited. And this cycle of being excited and being disappointed, and being excited and being disappointed, it's just life. We go through life, we get excited, we get disappointed. And it's just part of who we are. Unless you're like me, who is a flaming moderate, and I never get excited about any candidate. Texas. God does not change. There is no reason to be disappointed with God. Now, there are times in life when we are disappointed, when we like to see God show up and do something, and God appears to not answer our prayers. But we still have the promises of the future to know that even though God has not answered my prayer in this moment the way I want God to, I know what God's going to do in the future. And so our God is bigger. Our faith is bigger than our excitements and our disappointments, because God does not change. Has anyone here ever felt inadequate? Anybody? I have one of my best friends called me last Saturday. I was getting ready for bed last Saturday night. Sometimes on Sunday nights, Saturday nights, I don't sleep very well. And I think about my sermon all night. I know some of you think, oh, he just gets up and talks and, it's off the cuff and he doesn't prepare at all. Well, believe it or not, it takes a lot of preparation to do this, even though I don't do it that well sometimes. So I'm up at 11:30. My friend, whose fiance is 9 months pregnant, texts me and says, "Are you up?" To which I think, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm up. Is there something wrong? What's going on? Is she going into labor? So I call him immediately. It's like 11:30 at night. Yeah, I'm up. What's up? And he just had 100 questions. No, everything's okay. I'm like, well, it's like midnight. And he's, Eastern time zone. Like, what? I have to work tomorrow. What's up? And he's just like, well, we're going in on Monday, and she's going to be induced. And what's it going to be like? And so we just talked for like 15 minutes about what it's going to be like, and how, and I said, what did you get her as a push gift? And he said, what's a push gift? I said, oh, nobody told you about the push gift? And so on Sunday he went out and got a push gift. But, and then as we were talking, I was tired and I was just kind of answering his questions as I could. And as I was hitting the little red button on my phone, it occurred to me why he called. And so we hung up and I called him right back and I said, Alan, you're ready. You're ready to be a father. You can do this. And it took me 15, 20 minutes of talking to him to realize that's why he was calling. Because he wasn't sure that he was ready. I said, I know in your heart, in your mind, you're thinking about all the things that you haven't done yet. That the money you haven't saved, and all these things that you haven't accomplished yet in life. But I can assure you that in your heart and in your mind, you are ready to be a father. You are ready to love that child above everything else in your life. You're ready. This child for the rest of your life will be number one. I know that. I know that you have the maturity and the love, and you're ready. He's like, thank you. I think at times in life, we all feel unprepared and inadequate. When I was a youth director, we were on a mission trip in West Virginia, and there was about 50 people there, and I was leading a devotion, and I led one that I had learned for years past. And I asked everybody to line up, and I said, so this is the lesson here is to know that what you're feeling, other people feel as well. And, we had all types of different people, high school kids, college kids, athletes, band, all types of people. And I said, have you ever felt fat? If so, please step forward. and every single one of them stepped forward. Have you ever felt dumb? Step forward, and every single person stepped forward. Have you ever felt unprepared for life? Step forward, and every single person stepped forward. The reality is everyone goes through these feelings of inadequateness. But our faith is bigger than our feelings, because God created us just the way that we are. And God doesn't make mistakes. And when we walk through these valleys, Jesus talked about the valley of the shadow, valley of death. But these valleys, these moments in life where we doubt ourselves, we can be assured that God is with us. Wherever we go, God is with us. It's not that God doesn't give, as we talked about last week, not that God doesn't give us more than we can handle, but whatever we're going through, we can be assured that God is there with us. And that if we aren't prepared for that moment, that God will be our strength. That God will get us through. Our faith is bigger than our feelings of inadequacy. Anybody ever felt unworthy? Like you don't deserve all that you have? I think there's times in life when I look at how good my life is with my wife and my daughter and my job. I just love, it came to me this week that I don't work here. This isn't my job. This is my life. Like every day I come in, it never feels like work. This is the life I get to live, is being the pastor here at this community of faith. It's not a job. And I have just been so blessed. And at times I feel so unworthy. I feel like God has done more than I'll ever deserve. And then I think about, wow, not only has God given me this beautiful family and this wonderful job and surrounded me with all these wonderful people, but Jesus died. Like, died. For me. And I'm not worthy of that. And I don't think any of us are worthy of having somebody die for you. I don't think anyone could raise their hand and say, well, I'm good enough. I think we all realize that, man, without Jesus dying for us, we don't really have much hope. But our faith that God is love is greater than our feelings of unworthiness. Because the reality is Christ loves you so much that he died for you. We might disagree on a number of things and in a number of ways. But if we all remember why we're here, if we remember the feelings of fear and inadequacy and all the times we've been disappointed and all the times we haven't felt worthy, and how God speaks to each of those things, then I think we can rise above all our disagreements. And we can see our disagreements as a beautiful diversity of God's creation. And we can rise above and be a united body that does the work that we have been called to. As long as we remember that we are not defined by who we root for or who we vote for, but we're defined by who we fish for. Amen.